Do you want to save money? Of course you do. Is it cheaper to replace an employee or develop them? Business owners, I am addressing you today because today we're talking about something every business owner eventually faces. Is it more cost effective to hire a career coach or to let someone quit and replace them? Because here's the truth. Turnover feels normal, but it's expensive. It's very expensive. So, welcome back to Sip on This, the show where we talk love, life, careers, money, and the bottom line. If this is your first time joining me, then welcome. I am your host, Deirdre Haggerty. I'm an ICF certified career coach and the founder of Coaching with MsD, which offers relationship, life, and career coaching to align your values and vision of life. I am so excited you're joining me today to have a conversation, coffee in hand, as we chat about life, careers, relationships, and all the things that can shape who we are. I will not lecture you or tell you what to do. It's just the two of us in my cute little coffee shop behind me, chatting about topics that make us laugh or drive us nuts, or help us understand that turnover is costly, both for the wallet and company culture. So let's begin. The cost we don't talk about. Let's start with the facts. Just the facts, ma'am. I totally just dated myself. Even though that show came out way before I was born, we still know the terminology. So, facts. Little research for you. Not a lot, I won't bore you. The Society for Human Resource Management estimates that replacing an employee can cost 6 to 9 months of their salary. For mid-level roles, often 100% to 150% of their salary. So breaking that down, if someone earns $80,000, replacing them could cost $80,000 to $120,000. And that's not just recruiting. That's training, ramp up time, lost productivity, team disruption, client instability, and burnout for the people covering the gap. And we normalize this. We treat turnover like the weather, but it's not weather, it's strategy. So, why do people actually leave their positions? Well, most people don't leave their roles because of salary alone. They leave because they do not see growth. They feel unseen. They feel stagnant. They feel misaligned. And often no one ever had a structured conversation with them about their development. And that's where coaching enters. So yes, you may have your 3-month plan, a 6-month plan when you first start out at a company, and then maybe it's once a year. And you're getting evaluated and you have to check off on your evaluation. But is it really coaching? Are they truly trying to develop you, or are they just putting these things in the file so that if something ever happens, they have the paperwork to back them up? I'm going with they have the paperwork to back them up. So what does coaching do? Well, I am a coach. I am a career coach. But I didn't start as a career coach. I learned coaching through my corporate positions and then decided to branch out and open Coaching with MsD. I got certified as a coach because I was always fascinated by how business, and this is me also as a business owner back when, and then moving into corporate, how we really didn't care about the people. And I'm being honest. Now, I was mid-management, so I cared about my employees because I needed them to perform well for my job. And I was closely related to them. We worked together, but a lot of times upper management, they don't care. They really are just looking at the bottom line. So how, again, going back to how can a career coach help? So career coaching inside organizations, they help employees clarify goals, improve communication, develop leadership skills, navigate conflict, and there's a lot of conflict that goes on, let's face it, realign with purpose, increase engagement, and when engagement increases, retention increases. It's not fluff, it's operational. So according to where I am certified from, the International Coaching Federation, companies that implement coaching report higher productivity and improved employee engagement, which means coaching is not a perk, it's a preventative strategy. So let's talk about the mindset shift for leaders, because coaching helps a leader do their job. And here's the real shift. Reactive leadership says, if they're not performing, replace them. We're human. And being a leader, I get it. They're not doing their job. Just get rid of them. And that's the terminology you hear. Coach them up or coach them out. And I think this is when I started to become fascinated with being a coach, because strategic leadership says, well, what support have we provided them? Because firing and rehiring might solve the surface issue. It might lessen that supervisor's tension. But if the culture doesn't change, you will repeat the cycle. And I'm going to repeat that. If the culture does not change, you will repeat the cycle. And it's always when I am coaching somebody for going into a job, I always have them ask that question in the interview. If there's a lot of turnover, ask why. Be specific. Because do you really want to go into a job where there's a lot of turnover? Because culturally, systemically, something's wrong with that place. Coaching interrupts that cycle. Hiring a coach lessens management workload and will increase productivity. So, prior to recording this episode, I wrote about it. I posted a blog to my website, coachingwithmsd, and I also wrote an article for LinkedIn about the topic, and I titled it, Employee Turnover. Is it more cost effective to hire a career coach than replace an employee? And I will have it linked for you in the show notes. But I want to mention, and I'm going to give you two of the comments that I received. And while it was positive, Joy on LinkedIn, this was what she said. And she focused on the financial cost of the headline. I don't know if she actually went in and read the article, because I do talk about what I just mentioned about the culture. And she's correct for feeling this. The financial costs get cited often. What's harder to quantify is the momentum lost. Onboarding resets the team's rhythm, institutional knowledge thins, and trust takes time to rebuild. Development isn't just cheaper, it compounds. Just 100% correct. 100% correct in her thought. Yeah, and corporations, as I mentioned earlier, they're looking at the bottom line. They're not seeing those smaller internal things that are happening. Or maybe they are and they don't care. Or maybe it's not getting relayed to them. Or maybe the person who's doing the relaying is upper management and they'd rather keep their job than build a team. There are so many reasons for that. Or maybe that person is new in that management position and doesn't really understand how to manage. I just had this conversation with a client recently about somebody in upper management who is new in their role. And one of the things they keep saying is, oh, well, when I was in this position or when I was working with this team, you can't do that because now you're with a different team. And so now you have to listen and understand your new team. So back to my comments. Here is another comment that I thought was very interesting. And this was from Diane. And I believe she reposted my LinkedIn article. She said, I've often said that not all turnover is bad. Organizations need growth, and some of that comes from new blood into the organization. Yes. What is bad is preventable turnover. Conditions within the workplace that leave an employee with no real choice other than to leave a toxic workplace, which I've written about and had a few podcasts about as well. Truths are not sought. Exit interviews are not considered. The organization protects itself from learning the truth. This individual who wrote all this, she was also, just as some context, she is from HR. There are great leaders out there, but there are some terrible ones too, who rarely take accountability that they are the reason good people are lost to the organization. Working in HR for over 30 years, I've seen it so many times. Train and hold accountability in your leaders. And then she thanked me for sharing. So here is my question, if there are any leaders listening. And I empathize with you. I really do, because I've been in your shoes. Before you post the job opening, think about this. Have you invested in the person you already have? If you're in corporate, you have to fill out the documentation before you let someone go. So perhaps you've already done all of that, but have you really truly invested in them? Have you invested in a positive team culture? What have you done so that you don't have to retrain and onboard somebody new? Because sometimes the most expensive line item is the one you did not invest in. So leaders, let's start building that team. If you haven't read the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, I highly recommend it. Haha, pun. Specifically, Habit 5. Which is seek first to understand, then to be understood. And if you read it, you understand what I'm talking about. If you're a team leader, this should be part of your arsenal. So if you are a business owner or HR leader curious about implementing coaching inside your organization, I would love to have that conversation with you. Retention is not about control. It's about development. And development is always cheaper than rebuilding. So until next time, sip on that. And don't forget to give a like or subscribe to Sip on This on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and join me at Coaching with Miss D for tools, coaching, pricing, resources, and to schedule a free discovery session. You can always shoot me an email as well. I love to hear from you. Until next time, keep sipping, keep growing, and remember to live your life as your authentic self, your version, no one else's.